VH1 Access of VH1Access.com. He sent me this story. He wanted to know my opinion on the whole Willie Smith Ward situation. If you guys have not heard of Willie Smith Ward, he is a 43-year-old man that was sentenced to 50 years in prison down in Waco, Texas. Basically, they gave him 50 years in prison for stealing a rack of ribs. The rack of ribs cost $36. He is a habitual offender, and they got tired of seeing him coming back and forth to court, so they decided to sentence this man to 50 years in prison. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a news clip, and I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
A man will spend 50 years in prison for stealing a rack of ribs. The jury sentenced 43-year-old Willie Smith Ward yesterday. In 2011, he threatened a grocery store worker who tried to stop him from stealing a $35 rack of ribs. And the jury recommended such a strong punishment because Ward had quite a record. His previous felony convictions include burglary, attempted robbery, aggravated assault, leaving the scene of an accident, and possession of cocaine.
Okay, so you guys just watched the news clip. To me, this whole situation is an abuse of the justice system. I don't agree with anyone getting 50 years in prison because they stole some $36 ribs. To house and feed this damn man for the next 50 years is going to cost the taxpayers in Texas $2.5 million. You know, this is nothing but a hustle for the system because they're going to use him to make license plates and furniture and all types of cheap shit. Prison is nothing but modern-day slavery, in my personal opinion. But with that being said, this man also needs to take some personal responsibility. Willie Ward is a habitual criminal. He's been in trouble umpteen times. He also threatened somebody over these ribs, so he does need to take personal responsibility for his actions, and I agree with that. But I do feel like 50 years in prison is way too much. If they were going to lock him up because of all these petty crimes that he's committed over the years, give that man 5 years. Maybe 10 at the most, but 50 years? He's not even 50 years old yet. He hasn't even lived 50 years, and he's looking at 50 years in prison? This is insane. But this is why I keep telling y'all, if y'all don't learn nothing else from me in these damn YouTube rants, please learn personal responsibility, and please realize that the system, especially the criminal justice system, does not care about you, especially if you're a person of color. They do not care about you. In the words of Michael Jackson, they don't really care about us. Light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair, big nose, little nose, hazel eyes, brown eyes, they don't really care about us, and this is proof right here. I think this is absurd to give somebody 50 years in prison for stealing ribs. Granted, he's a habitual criminal, I understand that, but his criminal resume doesn't have murder in it anywhere. He hasn't killed anybody. You have people who have killed people who have never gotten 50 years in prison. Texas is seriously tripping. I'm not saying don't punish him. I'm not saying that he shouldn't go to prison. Give him some time because obviously his ass don't know how to take no personal responsibility and learn how to stay his ass out of jail. So I'm not saying don't give him no time, but 50 years is 50 years too much. Like I said, give him 5 to 10 years and call it a day. But 50 years in prison for some ribs? Come on, son. You know that's an abuse of the justice system. Anyways, y'all, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. Do you feel like 50 years in prison is just for what he did? Or do you feel like the state of Texas is seriously tripping for giving this man 50 years in prison for stealing some damn baby back ribs? Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces.